Hello everyone. Welcome to the journey of exploring American history, an exciting adventure with We Love USA. Let's sit down together, enjoy a hamburger, and explore the important chapters in the formation of this nation. The history of the United States is a series of events, from the establishment of colonies, the Revolution for Independence, territorial expansion, to wars and social movements. Each chapter has its own humorous and interesting highlights. Let's explore them with We Love USA. Let's rewind history to the time before Christopher Columbus decided to find India and ended up discovering a completely new land for him in Europe. Imagine we are turning back the clock to before 1492, when the American continent was home to many native tribes. It was where they lived and thrived, developing brilliant civilizations, building cities, engaging in agriculture, and even making unique inventions. Then Columbus had a bold plan. Instead of taking the familiar, crowded, and challenging route, he decided to head west, across the Atlantic Ocean to find India. So, Columbus and his crew set sail, embarking on a journey full of hope. But life doesn't always go as planned. Instead of reaching India, Columbus accidentally discovered a completely new land, which was America. Let's imagine Columbus's feeling when he saw land and joyfully exclaimed, "We've reached India." He even called the native people he encountered Indians. This is humorous because he was mistaken about his geographical location. Oh, what a surprise and confusion. Columbus's journey was both a major misunderstanding and one of the most humorous events in history at that time. From that point on, European countries began rushing to America to establish colonies, a process that lasted from the late 15th century to the mid-18th century. Imagine it as a chaotic marathon race, where these nations competed to seize the best lands and exploit resources as quickly as possible. It started with Spain, followed by England, and then France. By the 17th century, these countries had claimed vast territories, with England's colonial expansion being the most vigorous. At that time, nobody had clear maps, Google Maps, or reservation apps like we do now. It was all about first come, first serve, which led to quite a bit of chaos. In 1607, the English set foot in what they called Virginia, marking their first attempt at a permanent settlement there. They looked around and said, "Hey, this looks like a great place to farm and fight." Little did they know, they were about to face severe challenges ahead. Imagine John Smith as a dashing hero with a bushy beard and bright eyes. A brave explorer unafraid of any danger or challenge. However, when faced with the native people, he encountered difficulties and obstacles in communication, and establishing relationships was not simple. But then, on a fateful day, John Smith met Pocahontas, the daughter of Chief Powhatan. Pocahontas was a young, intelligent, and courageous girl with a kind heart. As the daughter of a powerful chief, she helped John Smith and the Jamestown colony overcome difficulties, gradually easing tensions between the two cultures. The English settlers faced harsh weather and food shortages, but Pocahontas helped them by teaching them how to farm, hunt, and live in harmony with nature. After the success in Jamestown, the English decided, all right, let's set up a few more colonies. And so, many more colonies sprang up like mushrooms after the rain. But it wasn't just the English, the French, Spanish, and Dutch also joined in on the fun. The chaotic scene of countries arguing broke out, with everyone wanting a piece of the land, constantly bickering. This is mine, and no, it's mine. They were like children fighting over toys on a vast playground, but instead of toys, they were fighting over land, resources, and control. Thus began the conflicts and wars, but there were also rare moments of cooperation. Europeans not only fought against each other but also against the native people. Eventually, the colonies began to develop their own culture, laws, and customs. Next is the American Revolution, a significant and dramatic historical event that marked the formation of a new nation and the end of the colonial era. Let's explore this journey. The American Revolution did not erupt spontaneously. It was the result of many factors, including the war between France and England, 1754 to 1763, also known as the 7 Years' War, which left profound consequences. The 7 Years' War was not only a conflict between France and England in Europe but also spread worldwide, even being considered the First World War. In this conflict, Britain and France faced off in North America, with Britain gaining supremacy. France was defeated and forced to retreat, conceding territory to Britain. However, after securing victory, Britain had to pay a steep price, accumulating massive debt. To offset the post-war losses, Britain decided to impose taxes on the 13 colonies in North America through new laws such as the Sugar Act, the Stamp Act, and the Tea Act, while increasing management and control over the colonies. The colonists felt discontented because they were oppressed and treated unfairly, as they had to pay taxes without any representation in the British Parliament. No taxation without representation. As a result, they began to organize rebellions and protests against British rule. The discontent reached its peak with the most notable event before the Revolution erupted, the Boston Tea Party in 1773. When Britain decided to impose a tea tax, the people of Boston protested by organizing a special tea party. They disguised themselves as Mohawk Native Americans, boarded British merchant ships, and dumped all the tea into the sea. What made the 13 small colonies dare to confront the mightiest empire in the world at that time? This was not just an act of defiance but also a humorous and bold performance, as if saying to Britain, "We don't need your tea." As the protests continued to grow, the colonists rose up against British rule and desired freedom, leading them to decide, it's time for independence. On July 4, 1776, after months of struggle and negotiation, the Continental Congress adopted the Declaration of Independence, officially proclaiming the 13 colonies as free and independent states. This was a heroic moment when the colonial leaders stood up and declared, "We've had enough. Goodbye, Britain." Imagine this scene, with the shouts of joy, brilliant fireworks celebrating Independence Day, and hot dogs. The Declaration of Independence, primarily drafted by Thomas Jefferson, marked the birth of a new nation, the United States of America. Moreover, the direct support of weapons, finances, and military aid from France during the American Revolution was also an incredibly important factor, helping the Continental Army secure victory at Yorktown. The Treaty of Paris of 1783, signed between representatives of the United States and Great Britain, officially ended the Revolutionary War and ushered in a new era for the United States, establishing it as a unified nation with a solid system of government. After gaining independence, one of the greatest challenges for the United States was establishing a strong and stable government. George Washington was elected as the first president of the United States, leading the nation through its early, challenging years. He laid the foundation for the development of the federal government and national policies, strengthening the unity of the states. In addition to consolidating the government, the United States also began to expand its territory. Not only did the United States significantly expand its territory, but it also experienced strong economic growth. President Thomas Jefferson purchased the Louisiana Territory from France in 1803, nearly doubling the size of the United States. This expansion created numerous opportunities for economic development and opened up the West for settlement and exploration. However, it also brought many challenges, particularly for the Native American tribes who had lived on these lands for centuries. Numerous armed conflicts arose as they tried to defend their territory. In this context, the California Gold Rush of 1849 shook the entire nation. Thousands of people from all over flocked to the West, hoping to find gold and build a new life. The gold fever spread rapidly, with everyone dreaming of overnight wealth. However, the reality was often harsher than the dream. Most of them encountered only disappointment and hardship. Nevertheless, it left a profound mark on American history. At the same time, it intensified the tension over the issue of slavery in American society at that time. The northern states, with economies based on industrialization and free labor, increasingly conflicted with the southern states, where the agricultural economy heavily relied on slavery. This was not just an economic issue but also reflected a deep opposition in views on human rights and ethics. In the mid-19th century, tensions between the northern and southern states reached a breaking point, leading to a major conflict known as the American Civil War, 1861 to 1865. The Union in the North, driven by the desire to preserve the nation's unity and a determination to abolish slavery, faced off against the Confederacy in the South, which saw slavery as an essential foundation of its economy and society. This war claimed the lives of hundreds of thousands and left deep, indelible scars on the nation. As the smoke of war cleared, victory belonged to the North, and slavery was completely abolished. This became a symbol of progress in protecting the values of freedom and equality. From the pain of this war, a stronger and more united America was formed, ready to step into a brighter future. Following that, the United States entered the Reconstruction era, marked by revolutionary changes in the legal and social systems, most notably through the adoption of three important amendments: the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments. As the 20th century began, the United States quickly became a leading global power. Wealth and prosperity increased, creating new opportunities for millions of immigrants who brought with them dreams of a better life. It all started with a revolutionary event for the United States: participation in World War I, 1914 to 1918. At that time, the U.S. was focused on domestic economic development and maintaining peace. However, the escalation of unrestricted submarine warfare by Germany, including the sinking of the Lusitania, and other factors made it impossible for the U.S. to remain neutral. When America entered the war, it brought its immense power, contributing decisively to the victory of the Allies, including Britain, France, and Russia. The United States entered World War II, 1939 to 1945, with strong determination, participating in many important battles. The war ended with the surrender of Germany in May 1945 and Japan in August 1945, after the U.S. dropped 2 atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. This action quickly brought the war to an end and affirmed the overwhelming power of the United States. After the victory over the Axis powers, the U.S. became a symbol of freedom and democracy. The U.S. then entered a new conflict, the Cold War, 1947 to 1991, with the Soviet Union. This era saw the arms race and the space race become symbols of the fierce competition between the two superpowers as they continually sought to outdo each other for strategic advantage. The Cold War ended with the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991, leaving the United States as the world's sole superpower. As the 20th century drew to a close, the world witnessed the end of a long and tense confrontation. This was also the time when the United States entered an era of globalization, marked by the explosion of information technology and the Internet, a revolutionary invention by the U.S. Not only did the U.S. lead in technology, but it also, together with other nations, established the United Nations, the most important international organization for maintaining peace and promoting cooperation between countries. Additionally, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO, and the World Trade Organization, WTO, helped maintain international order. The world has changed, and threats are no longer easy to identify. The 9/11 attacks in 2001 shocked the United States and the world, claiming the lives of thousands. In response, the U.S. launched the War on Terror, aiming to eliminate terrorist organizations and protect the nation from new threats. Issues like climate change and social conflicts have posed difficult questions for the future of the country. The United States, with its vast economy, powerful military, and crucial role in shaping the future of the world. What is the current situation of this nation? Let's explore together with We Love USA. The United States is currently the largest economy in the world, with a GDP in the tens of trillions of dollars. The country is a hub of creativity and innovation, leading in technological advancement and scientific research. However, the U.S. also faces numerous challenges, from growing income inequality to debates about the future of work in the age of automation and artificial intelligence. Militarily, no nation can compare to the strength of the United States. With the largest defense budget in the world, the U.S. possesses a modern military force equipped with advanced technology, capable of projecting power anywhere in the world at any time. The United States also plays the role of a leader of the free world, promoting democracy, engaging in diplomacy, cultural exchange, and protecting human rights. In addition to combating aggression and expansionism, the U.S. is always among the first to stand up for common human values and is a major force within international organizations. Thank you for watching until the end of the video. If you enjoyed this part, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of the exciting videos coming up.